Hey everyone, my name is Nathan Torres, and welcome to Conversations with the World, a show where I have conversations with everyday people.
You feel something, you feel something. It's not about personality matrixels and charts. It's all about the bumps in your heart.
We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich. We can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful.
I love the art of it. And so like that really to me is like, you know, it's cool. Like I just love the idea of like just immersing myself in the character and just like, you know, letting my mind go.
Do what you're supposed to do, man. Like all I can say is that whatever mountains are in front of you sounds so. I'm trying to think of a non-cliche way to say it. Is that there is a way through what you're going through.
Yeah.
And you will get through to the other side. And I'm saying like all I can say is that you can make it through it, bro. It'll seem like your brain will try and convince you that you can't, but tomorrow will come and you can.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Conversations with the World. And joining me today, I've got Luis Avilez. Is that how you say your last name?
That's how you say it. Well, I like to white it up a bit, so I say Avilez.
Avilez.
But I think it's Avilez.
Avilez.
Yeah.
The true Hispanic pronunciation.
Yeah.
You know, now that you say that about like whitening it up a lot, do you like I do that a lot, like.
Well, we're speaking English, so
yeah,
you have to.
It's kind of like a Spanglish type of thing.
Yeah.
No, but I literally white it up like so. Like I said, like to do, like that's like you say it normally. Voy a hacer mis cosas, but like I always joke around with like, oh, I'm gonna hacer, you know, hacer. So
yeah.
I just like say stuff like that just to tick people off or just to make people laugh.
I do too. I do it mainly with my name, my last name. And people call me out on it all the time. And I'm like, dude, how are you going to tell me how to say my last name?
Exactly.
And they just stop. But it's
last names are last names. But yeah. I was upset one time for, well, not too upset because I was on the podcast, but I submitted a question to like a podcast I listened to. Mm-hmm. And they read off my question. And they said my name and all that, but Charlemagne the guy that I look up to, he's like a radio host. Mm-hmm. He was like, Nathan Torres. Like
Tourette's?
I'm like, what? My last name's not Tourette's, it's Torres, you know? Like people don't roll that R, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't know how to, but to get the show off started, I guess we could tell people how we met. You know, we've known each other for quite some time now.
Yeah, a good amount of time.
Yeah, we met at Mount Sac.
When I think it was like in 2014ish, 2013 maybe?
Around that time, 2014, going into 2015.
Yeah. I think it was my last year there.
Oh, okay. We had a few production classes together, right?
We did, yeah.
I think when I first came into Mount Sac and I had that class, like I didn't know what I was in store for, but it unpacked like great friendships and just. It's crazy. It's crazy that the friendships that unraveled. Like we met Jess, we met Lamar, we met Louis.
Yeah.
We had like our own little like niche, little group, you know.
And it was always us.
It was always us, just goofing off in class. It was a RTV class, a video
RTV
production.
one, yeah.
Yeah, and I forgot who our professor.
I don't know.
I mean, there's so many professors that I've had. That
he was new. Remember, he was new.
Oh,
like,
was
he was there.
that guy.
That was his first semester there.
Yes,
and he didn't really know what to do.
And he was like very like calm and like light. He talked very light and all that. And like the class kind of like stampeded over him a few times. But he had some good credits behind him.
He did. He was really good at what he did. And I think the only thing about him is that he wasn't very confident when he said the stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's why people didn't really take him serious. But he knew what he was doing. Yeah.
I think we had a professor that, you know, kind of didn't like put his foot down, but I think we all had the enthusiasm to know what we wanted to do in that class and accomplished it. Because I remember we all like produced some pretty good short films that semester.
Yeah.
Like we had the film festival that they had. I think it was a second annual film festival, and I know I helped you guys out with your guys' films.
Yeah.
No, I was in Louis' film.
You were in one of them, and I kicked you in one of them.
Oh yeah, no, that was it. That was it.
That Louis?
That was Louis' film. Wait, yeah, it was that was Louis' film. So Louis, actually, I think I might have a copy of that. I may have a copy of that film. I just may. But I remember that like it was about me like losing my mother in a car accident, and I was just getting bullied. I remember we went to what is it? That park right there in
Walnut.
Yeah. And we had like found like this cool little like bridge, and I got my ass handed to me by Luis and Tony, right?
Yeah.
It was Tony.
Tony, dude, what happened to Tony? Whose friend was that?
I don't know.
Dude, Tony was so funny.
He was a character. He really was a character. I think there was a few times where I had ran into him a few more times. I think it was Lamar's friend.
Was he?
Yeah, I believe it was Lamar's friend. But overall, I mean, we all had fun in that class, and then we all kind of just went our separate ways.
Yeah.
And I've kind of been keeping my eye on everybody, you know.
Have you?
It's we're all linked still.
Yeah, I mean, we all do the same thing, I think.
Around about the same thing. I think we're all starting to branch off into our own little categories. I mean, look at you, man. You're like acting it up whenever you get a chance.
I'm trying. It's a hard business to get into, but I'm trying my best.
It is quite like the hardest like thing to get into, because I feel like you either have to know someone, you either have to have the right stuff, or it just has to click right away, you know?
Yeah. Or you got to be dedicated and just make shit happen yourself.
Yeah.
Can I say shit?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want. This is Conversations with the World. You know, nothing is off limits. You share with what you want to share with the people, and state it how you would normally state it.
Cool.
You know?
No, yeah, I remember. What the fuck were we talking about?
We were talking about like just you acting, you know?
Yes. Okay. So yeah, I got lost again.
Yeah. Well, let's start off with this. When did you start dabbling into your acting? Because when we met each other, we were knocking down like the video production side.
Yeah, I started in 2013. It was either the year that we met, which was did we meet
2014?
2014
around there, 2013, 2014.
Yeah, so that's when I started. I remember I took some acting classes at Mount Sac for the first time, and I'm gonna put this on silent.
Go for it.
But I remember I had this accounting class, and it was accounting class.
Okay.
I was doing a business major. I had just gotten my associates in sociology, and when I graduated, I was like, "Fuck, what's sociology though?"
Yeah.
So I went back. I started doing business because that's what I know, and I was in this accounting class, and it was so hard. And I was talking to the guy next to me, and I'm like, "Dude, I swear to God, like after this class, I think I'm just gonna start acting." And he just looks at me like, "Why the fuck are you here? Like, why don't you just do that now?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Dude, fuck, I think you're right."
Yeah.
And the next day I just dropped out of that class.
And you went full throttle.
I kept I remember I had a physical education class. So that's the only class that I kept.
Okay.
I kept going to that class. And the next semester, I took an acting class at Mount Sac. It was an on-camera class.
Okay.
And that's when I first started, and I was like, yeah, all right, I like this.
This is kind of like what I want to mess with.
Yeah, and then that same year, they had a entertainment event at the school where like some people from, I forgot, it was I know it was a manager, and for sure it was a TCD Studios, the studio that I started going to acting classes for.
Okay.
So they came and they're telling us what they do. They do headshots and all this stuff, and it was like $60 a month. I was like, dude, that's pretty cheap. Headshots, classes, on-camera classes, everything.
Foot in the door, maybe.
Yeah. And they walk you through, basically, like hold your hand. Like
was worth it?
They were great. Yeah. Yeah. I still occasionally talk to the guy.
Of course, you gotta keep that network, you know.
Yeah, and he's a really cool guy. He's always looking to like do stuff.
Yeah.
Like he's always trying to get ahead. But yeah, I remember I started there, and I would go. It was in Hollywood. I would always I would occasionally go. I wouldn't always.
Yeah.
Occasionally, I was still like 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah.
I would go take the classes because we weren't required to go every day. It was like you sign up if you want to go, and then you go. So I wasn't being forced, so I wasn't going.
It's optional. Like, how much work do you want to put in?
Exactly. And
Got
since
it.
I wasn't all the way yet, I would go. but they were great classes.
Yeah.
Instructors were great. Some of these guys were working on big movies. Some of them, I think one of them was like on a reality TV show.
Okay.
I forgot what it was, but yeah, they were doing stuff and they were teaching us, and it was pretty good. And I think that was when I first took classes in like Hollywood.
Did
Those
you
were my first Hollywood classes.
did you get your first kind of gig like through that?
No, not really. My first gig was like background, but I'll get into that.
Okay.
But I remember they helped me become SAG eligible. So SAG is like,
and to become SAG, is it SAG-AFTRA?
SAG-AFTRA, yeah.
Yeah. How do you become eligible for that? Because I know a few people that are already in there, and
Yeah.
like yourself too.
Yeah, so back in the day, they had a thing where you could Taft-Hartley people. So if you make like a film, any type of short film, and you go through SAG, you could fill out the paperwork, send it into SAG, and SAG sends you a letter in the mail telling you that you're eligible.
Yeah.
Once you're eligible, you just pay the small fee of $3,000 to join.
What the? You should have said a large fee. That sounds like a large fee to me.
No, it's definitely large.
Oh my gosh.
But once you get that letter, you join, or if you want to join.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're basically eligible until you join. But it was good because I remember I was at the gym one time.
Yeah.
I knew nothing about SAG. I knew what it was. It's a union. I didn't know how to get in. I didn't know anything. But I remember I had written down I had a little paper that I wrote down stuff that I want to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, become SAG. And then I'm at the gym one day just working out. I get a call from the guy Mike, and he's like, "Hey, what's up, Luis? Like, we're doing this short film this weekend. I don't know if you want to be part of it. We can offer you SAG eligibility." He's like, "Are you SAG eligible?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "Do you want to be part of it?" Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah. And so I literally like unintentionally became SAG eligible.
That's cool. Like just the opportunity that arose, you know?
It's really cool because people spend like a lifetime, like years
Trying to
become eligible. Like they do background for like 5-6 years and sometimes don't even become eligible.
Dang.
But it's a hard thing to do if you don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
At the time, I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
And
now you're confident that like say if like you started from the beginning again and you weren't, you know, like you weren't in SAG, like you would know the proper steps. Like, all right, I'm gonna get in pretty clean.
Yeah.
Or you still would have to like, you know, go through
like
those.
right now.
Yeah.
Well, I would have to like do background or do my own production. I wouldn't know how to do the production now, but at the time, I'd be lost.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd probably be like, "What the hell? How do I even do this?" Like,
and are there people out there who spread the word about like how someone can get in, or like do you think they keep it on the down low? Like, all right, it's like you should try your best to get in, or are there a lot of helpful people out there?
I think there's both. I think it goes both ways. Yeah.
I was gonna
like
say
anything.
Yeah.
There's
right.
a lot of those that are like, "Oh, I don't want to tell people how to do it because that's my competition. They're gonna compete against me."
Yeah.
Like, and there's those that are genuinely trying to help, and they feel good when they help others succeed. You know.
Yeah.
So I think it just depends.
Yeah. Just who you run into.
Who you run into at the time.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
And now that you are a part of SAG, like they come to you for opportunities, right?
No, that's not a SAG.
You still have to.
Yeah, you still got to go out there and do it yourself.
Okay.
You got to hustle. This is like a hustler's.
Hollywood's a hustle.
Yeah, you got to hustle it up. You got to figure it out. No one's just gonna hand it to you.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize, like before coming here, like just the kind of risk. Like I think it was like the second episode or the third episode of Conversations with the World. I had a guy who came from Ohio, and he's still out here, you know, trying to pursue his dream of writing, voice acting here and there. He's got a pretty cool voice, so like I can see like a lot of people utilizing him. I played his little demo on the show too. And he's out here. Now he moved out straight into LA. Like he used to live right next to me, and he used to work with me too. So it was really cool that I met him, and you know he's into like writing, and the stuff I see him post, it's very like conscious. Like he's very in touch with himself. So I feel like that's definitely going to escalate him as a human being, especially in this industry. People want to see people who are conscious, you know?
You have to be.
Yeah.
Like you literally have to be in touch with your emotional side.
Yeah.
If you're not, then you literally, it's going to be hard for you to fake acting.
Yeah.
Because you have to portray emotions that are real.
Mm-hmm.
Like people can tell when you're faking something.
Exactly.
So that's good.
I feel like I can act.
You could. You did one of my short films, remember?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
You know how hard I had to fight to act in that?
Why?
Well, because first off, okay, so like we had like one interruption with Lonzo Ball. Remember that?
We did.
Yeah.
We did. Yes.
He pulled up with loud music,
Yeah.
like right across the street at his friend's house. And then I liked your friend, the director,
Joe Bob. Yeah.
He's just like, guys, come on, it's Lonzo Ball. I'm like, hey,
dude,
he's not signed by the Lakers yet. This was like way before he was signed by the Lakers.
Dude, that's crazy. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and I was dying too because he had cats. Your friend,
Yeah.
he had cats there, and I'm allergic to cats. And I was still coming over a cold. So on top of being sick and allergic to the cats, like I was like, well, let's run it again. Another take. I just want to get a good take for you.
Hey, all that for no pay.
Hey, sometimes I risk it for the biscuit. And I realize, like, especially you, when you give me an opportunity, I freaking try to take it as best as possible. Like, you hit me up, like, what, probably like maybe a week before, maybe even 2 weeks before.
I think so.
And I was just like, yeah, I know Chino Hills. I can be there. Sure, it's a small little thing, and it was pretty cool.
I appreciate that. That film actually got into a film festival.
Which one?
It was a Hispanic one. It was called Voto Latino.
Nice.
It's out in New York, and it was playing in New York.
What?
Yeah.
I was in New York?
Yeah. Dude, we were in New York, like playing. I was gonna fly out there to go see it, and then
What
I was
the
like,
heck?
probably not.
It feels honestly, I'm telling you, it like I haven't been like dabbling too much within like PA work lately. I remember like right out of after like we started working on projects at school, I started getting my foot in the door, and that's when I started working like a lot of PA gigs. But just the feeling of happiness when you get to go to like a premiere that you worked on a film, like that is just like the best feeling.
Yeah, because it's a lot of work, and people don't realize like it's not just setting up cameras, action, people say lines, people go home. No, like there's so much that goes into it.
There's a lot of eccentricities that go into it.
Yeah,
too.
there's so many different takes, there's so many different directions. Everything has to come together. Lighting, fucking producers, sound guys, everything. Like literally everyone has to be on point.
Exactly. The chemistry has to be on top notch. Yeah. But going forward, I wanted to talk about like what were some of the first gigs that you've had, like whether it's background or just helping out friends in short films.
Well, the first thing I did, I mean, I don't know if it's considered a gig, but it was a student film I think it was for one of the guys from our production class.
Okay.
His name was Hobie. Remember Hobie?
Oh, yeah. That's the homie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Hobie.
Dude,
I chit chat with him from time to time. He moved to like Oregon or so.
Did he?
But he's awesome. I love Hobie.
Dude, Hobie was dope.
Actually, the first so Hobie, shout out to Hobie because I remember when we were in that class and I was still like doing like I was still into filmmaking, video production, all that, and I still have a passion for it. But I remember telling Hobie, I'm like, Hobie, for some reason I have like a niche for podcasting. I want to podcast. I want to do that. And I still have the file of him coming over to my house one time, and I just put a phone out in the backyard, and we're just chilling, and we're just recording like just a podcast, just chit-chatting.
Just on the phone?
Yeah, on the phone, just straight up like that. We were going to start like a whole podcast and stuff like that. That was like towards the end of school. I think me and him had like a paper that we had to write together, and we turned it in, and we were just like, listen, you can just come over to my house, we'll just chill, dude, and just do this podcast.
Yeah.
And it was cool. Like I think that was like the first like moment where I thought I was gonna like get into podcasting, and look where I'm at now.
Now you're podcasting.
No, now I'm podcasting. It all started with Hobie. But yeah, you were in his film.
I was in his film, yeah.
Which one was that? Can I remember that?
I forgot what it was called.
Was it the one where like it had to do with a book?
Yeah.
And like it was funny because like it was someone walking in through a back alley with a book and stuff. Yeah. See, that one's not that hard to like forget right there.
It was cool, dude. I remember he asked me, like, he's like, dude, do you know how to act? I did not know how to act. That was like the first time I did, and I was like, fuck yeah, I know how to act. I'm gonna act the shit out of this. I did not know, dude, but I gave him my all. It looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
It looked pretty cool. For no experience.
And I think that one's the film that gave us the most laughs.
It did.
Yeah, I would say so because it's like little flashbacks are popping up in my head.
Yeah, and he had really good editing skills.
Oh yeah, Hobie's good. Well, lot of like aspects of his game are really good. His writing skills are really good. Just his understanding of like, all right, well, this is what we're gonna need. Like he knew exactly what was going on. Yeah. And I think a lot of the professors really liked him too.
They did, yeah.
So that was one of the first kind of like steps you got into.
That was one of the first ones, yeah. I remember. And then I think after that it had to have been Girl Club with the people from Hollywood. Okay. That was the short film that made me SAG eligible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I remember when we filmed that.
Girl Club.
It was a short film.
Interesting.
It's very interesting.
What kind of film was this?
Let me just tell you. Louis. It was a Girl Club. No, this girl was a boxer. And her wasn't her husband. It was like her ex-husband, her baby's dad, basically. Okay. Her baby's dad was like the promoter of the fight. Uh-huh. And he was telling her to throw the fight because he had money on the other girl. Mm-hmm. So he didn't have money on his own girl.
What the heck?
And she didn't want to throw the fight because she knew she could take the other girl. But she was getting older.
And she needed the money, you know?
Well, not only that. It was that she still wanted to prove herself. She didn't want to, like, give a fight, basically. Yeah. Like, you know, like, I don't know exactly how it was because I don't remember it much. But I remember being like that. And so this girl, the lead actress, mm-hmm. she ended up not throwing the fight. And then they took this guy out, and I guess they killed him. It doesn't show what happens, but it's implied.
The ex-husband. Right?
Yeah, the ex-husband gets killed.
Because he was going to cheat and try to get all that money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
So
sounds like a good premise.
It was pretty good. It was filmed pretty nicely.
And you played who?
I played the background actor number 34.
Okay. Hey, you gotta start somewhere.
No, I remember. So I was one of the background actors.
Yeah.
And I remember when I went in to the studio and we were doing IMDb credits. They asked me. The girl was like, "Hey, so what do you want your name to be on the short film?" And I was like, "Luis." She's like, "Oh, you don't want it to be?" And I'm like, "No." Because I thought she meant like my IMDb name, like Luis Avilez. I didn't know it was gonna be like the character name.
Like you didn't know you could come up with a character.
No.
name.
Like I thought she was asking like what my IMDb name, like my stage name. Oh. So I was like, yeah, Luis. Like, she's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. She's like, I'm gonna put Louis Mead. So she put Louis Mead. Like my last name was Mead.
Oh my god.
And then every time I look at it on my credits, I'm like, dude. That's so funny.
Wait, so you on IMDb you own that account?
Yeah.
For your credits.
I'm the owner. I don't know. Yeah. So
like,
I'm the owner.
Do you pay for like your pro account?
Yeah. Okay. So we have to pay a monthly fee.
Yeah, I'm not paying that.
Yeah, no.
I have credits.
I know you.
It's just not worth enough.
It's not.
It's not worth me unless I like. I would only say it's worth it if like I'm working on like way more projects. Mm-hmm. And like if I get like 10 more projects on there, then sure I start like doing more, like whether it's acting or like background work, like then I'll probably
for background work you don't need it. But I think when you're an actor and when you're actually doing speaking roles and you want to be recognized, like people are gonna see your stuff and they're gonna Google you.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing that comes up. And it's like IMDb, that's where you see actual
everything
actors.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a
and crew people. Don't forget.
And crew people. Yeah. No, but that's like where you go to like see what actors are doing, what they're filming.
How much credits you got on there?
I want to say like.
I know you're beating me. That's for sure.
Oh, just slightly.
Just slightly. I think I have 4.
You have 4?
Yeah.
I think I have acting credits. I have like 10 or 12. Producing, I have like 5 or 6,
including that one that I did with you, right?
Yeah.
That's basically what you produced, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you wrote it yourself. You directed it.
I wrote it. I produced it. I acted in it. I did everything on that one. I edited that one.
All right, Clint Eastwood.
Hey. I tried.
All right, so the tipping point. Where are you trying to go with acting? Are you like what you told me like off podcast, like because you've got your gear here that you're very nice to help set up and stuff. Are you trying to continue acting or pursue like more of like the production side?
Acting. So acting is my main thing. I started producing because I was doing a lot of short films, like student films and stuff, that were really terrible. And not to say that I'm like the best or anything, but they were not useful for me.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't really selling me. It wasn't really what I wanted to do. It was like half the time you would do a student film, like most of us, we do student films and we never get the footage. If we do get the footage, it sucks. The audio is off. The image sucks. Like something's bad with it. And it's like, I don't blame them.
It's not on you because they're students, you know? Like,
yeah. And when we were students, mine wasn't that good either.
Yeah, mine was. So my first film was horrible.
I remember it was horrible.
The Batman and Robin
that
one?
Was terrible. That one sucked, dude. Holy shit.
Thank you. I appreciate you being honest like that because I know how. But my second one made it into the film festival.
I never saw that one.
That's
I still want to see it.
That's one that you're definitely gonna have to see. I've been wanting to like re-edit it so bad.
Yeah.
But I had a situation where my hard drive got wiped. And I don't know how much footage I can
That
salvage.
always happens. That always happens when you ask someone to see their stuff.
But I have the film.
Do
I
you?
have the film. I'll link it to you.
Dude, send it to me. Yeah,
I'll link
I
it
do
to
want
you.
to see it.
Yeah, it's way better than definitely that.
I believe you because I remember my short film sucked. It sucked ass.
What was your short film?
It was one about love. It was about like a guy that's like into one girl and then he gets over her and then he gets a new girl.
Was Jess in that?
No, she wasn't. No, it was like friends from high school.
Friends from high school?
Yeah.
I see.
But it was cool at the time. I remember I thought it was so cool. And I looked at it one time. It was on my YouTube account. And I was like, holy shit, I got to take this down.
Yeah.
Like, this can't be over here.
Yeah. That's what I had to do with my film, the one that I want to show you. I put it on private. It's on my website, actually. But, like, I have 2 films on there. I have a short documentary that I edited and then just that film. Because I figured if people meet me and they want to see, like, my work, it's on private because obviously like the short film, it's a student film. So I used kind of like music that's not mine. If I can manage to like, you know, make some music and just throw it in there, I can kind of like put it on YouTube and start saying like, yeah, this is all mine, you know, the idea, everything. But other than that, like I try to keep some stuff under wraps until I'm sure like, you know, I want to put it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you. I've done that too.
Yeah. But, so, I mean, you basically kind of want to do both.
Yeah, no, well, so like I was saying, so I started producing to get my own roles, basically, to like make my own real footage. It was in the beginning, it was more of like, all right, I need some good real footage so I could send out to casting directors, to agents, to managers and agents so I could get signed, casting directors so they could see my work.
Yeah.
And it worked. Like as soon as I started doing that, I bought some cinema cameras.
Yeah.
So it shoots pretty damn good.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And I just started learning into it. Like I started looking at YouTube videos. I picked up some it's funny because the stuff the production class that we went to,
yeah,
I probably learned like 10% of the stuff that I know. Most of the other stuff I learned it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, all right.
Or books.
Not books. I don't read.
Not books? Okay.
No, videos. But I would Google like, oh, I got to learn how to do this now. Like, how do I cut this? How do I edit this? How do I add sound? Like anything I need to learn, I look it up. And I teach myself. So I basically went step by step learning like image quality, how to make it look cinematic, how to like, what's the frame rate? What's the angle that it has to be at? All this stuff, you know, like, and yeah, I mean, it worked because as soon as I started doing that, I got my first agent. And then
your first agent?
Yeah.
Did you go through one agent and now you're at another one, or?
Well, yeah. Now I've had like probably like 5 different agents.
They go by. They just like hot sauce packets or what?
Well, no. The first one, my first agent, he was he contacted me through this website called LA Casting. Mm-hmm. That's where you get like the commercial jobs and like small student films and print jobs. And he's like, hey, we want to meet with you. We want to see what's up. I didn't know any better. I thought anyone that's interested in me, shit, I'm down. So I went in. I want to go talk to him. I had some headshots that I took with the TCD Studios, the guys that I used to go to. And this guy liked my stuff. He's like, I like your stuff. And I was like, cool. And so we're talking. He's like, all right, I'm going to get in touch with you. I was like, all right, cool. And then I was nervous, dude. I didn't know what was going on. Like it was like my first meeting in Hollywood, and I'm just like sitting there, and I'm like, all right, cool. And she's like, yeah, well, I'm gonna get in touch with you. And then so I just get up, and I'm like I was nervous, and I look at his business cards, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna take one of those. And he's like, you don't need one of those. I was like, oh shit. I was like, dude, this guy does not like me. He's not gonna hit me up. And he comes and he walks me out. He's like, I'll get in touch with you. I'm like, dude, holy shit, he's not gonna hit me up. He hits me up and he sends me like the signing package right away. Like I scanned through it. I didn't even read it completely.
Yeah.
Probably signed my life away. But I sign, send it back. I start auditioning for small commercial. I was still non-union at the time. So I started like auditioning and stuff. And probably like a month or two in, this guy he goes to a different agency. He takes me with him, and this was I'm not even gonna say any names.
Yeah, don't know.
Yeah, but he went to a different agency. We went there, and then I started going out a little bit more, and I never really booked anything. With this guy, but then he got fired after some time. And this was after me being there for like, I want to say like almost a year. He got fired, and then I started getting bigger auditions.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, something's going on. Something's different. And then I call my agent, and he's like, I call the agency to speak to my agent. And he wasn't there anymore, and they're like, oh, he doesn't work here anymore. I'm like, well, who the fuck is my agent? Like, why did they tell me this? Like,
yeah.
So I went to the main agent, and he started getting me more auditions, like bigger stuff. And that that's the guy that I booked my first commercial with.
Okay. What was your first commercial?
First commercial was for Good RX.
Okay.
Good RX, yeah.
I don't know what that is, but
it's so I'm not advertising, all right? But
just tell me what it is.
So it's a website where you go and you like let's say you need medicine of some sort. Like my thing was like I had allergies. Yeah. So I would allergy medicine. You look it up, you see how much it is at like CVS down the street.
Oh, so it's like a price comparison type.
Basically, yeah. It gives you the different prices, and then you print out the ticket, you take it in, and you get a cheaper price. Sometimes it's even cheaper than your health insurance.
Oh wow.
Yeah, or that's what they say.
Oh, that's what they say.
Yeah, I never.
That's
what
it's advertised.
That's what I advertise on it.
That's funny.
But that was my first commercial. I remember it was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
It's pretty nerve-wracking, but once you're there, you're just like, I showed up to set, and they're with their mics and stuff. They're like, Luis Avilez coming in. I'm like, holy shit! Like
the red carpet.
I am here. Like I'm doing it. Like look, I made it.
Look, Mom, I made it.
But it was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting. That was the first like big thing that I got. It was nice.
That's pretty good. And maybe like we can kind of shed some light on some of the saddest moments, kind of like yesterday. You wanna share a little bit of?
Yeah, yesterday well, it's not sad. It's like
it's not sad, but it's like it's there's the ups and downs and the truth of it. Yeah.
Most of it is like you're gonna get like 99% no's.
Yeah.
1% yes. So yesterday I auditioned for another TV show.
But you drove how far to get there? Or
I drove in traffic like 45-ish minutes.
Okay.
And then got in the room. It was like a minute audition. Then I get out. Like it's like you go in there, you do the audition. They're like, cool. Try to do it this way. You do it that way, and they're like, nice, good adjustment. We'll see you.
We'll get in contact with you.
You just walk out.
Yeah.
Like shit.
Should have spilled some coffee on you.
I should have done something.
Like Emma Stone it, you know?
Remember me.
Remember me.
But yeah, then you just walk out and you go back home.
And
that was an hour 30-minute drive.
And you try the next day. That's basically what it is.
Yeah. Like you just keep going. You just keep doing it.
Yeah.
You leave it all in the room. You go in there, you audition, and you walk out and you leave it there. Don't worry about it. If you book it, you book it. If you didn't, you can't worry about it.
No, yeah.
There's so many of them that if you start keeping track of them, and they're like, oh, did I book that one? Am I going to book this one? It doesn't work that way. Yeah. You just go in there, you do your best, you walk out, and you just keep going.
I think I'd be a good actor in the sense of like going to rehearsals, because I would bring the waiting mentality, like the waitress or waiter mentality, where I'd be like at my old restaurant, PF Chang's. I used to serve there.
I remember.
And I used to. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Did you ever visit?
I never visited, but I remember you telling us.
Working at PF Chang's, but I used to get really annoyed with other employees that I worked with me because they'd complain about like not getting like the right tip, or like, oh, like they didn't tip me or anything, or they tipped me a little bit, you know. And I'm like, hey, look, this is how this restaurant thing works. If you don't get tipped, oh well, they don't have to tip you. Maybe you didn't do a good job. Maybe you did. Maybe they don't have spare money. But you know what you do? You bust your damn table, you clean it, and you wait for the next person to sit there, and you just try to handle that. And if they don't, you move on. You got to you got more tables to go. You got more auditions to go.
That's literally the way you got to do it.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
And then put the horse blinders on, just focus, you know?
Yeah. That's how you have to do, because the people that get really into the auditions and they pour their heart out, and then they like expect to book it, and like they hold on to it like so close to their heart. Those are the people that like I feel like quit Hollywood, because they don't understand the no's. They don't accept it yet. They don't understand that that's the process. That's part of it.
Yeah, they give themselves high hopes, but the expectations are not being met, so they might, give up in that situation.
Yeah, and they rarely are met.
Yeah.
Until you make a name.
Yeah, and that's the hardest part in this game.
Yeah, and even so, being more in this, I realize that it's all like we think that these people are all like consistently working and they're like not worrying about money and all this stuff, but it's not like that. I started doing background recently, so I did background first in 2013. I did background like 5 times because I wanted to see how a professional set worked, and it was great. Then I started doing the whole professional acting classes at Anthony Mandel's acting workshop. I was there for 2 years, and then started auditioning more. Started looking more into like producing and going out there and actually auditioning, trying to work. I didn't want to get stuck in background. But I had to go back into it recently because I'll talk about my business after, but my other business kind of went down, and I was kind of like, fuck, like I'm kind of like backpedaling going into background. But you know what? You got to do what you got to do. That's what I figured. Like that's the reason that I joined SAG. I joined SAG last year, like in July, because it took me like, what is that, from like 2014 to 2018, 4 years to join SAG. But I joined because I was like, you know what? If I do background work at non-union rate, $106 for like 8 hours, I'm not going to pay shit with that.
Not worth it, yeah.
So I'd rather pay the SAG initiation fee, get the SAG money, get the health benefits, get all the stuff that it comes with, and pay some of the bills, because it pays decent money.
Yeah.
So I went back into that, and like I said, at first I was like, oh shit, I'm backpedaling. Like, I don't want people to know that I'm doing background. And then after I was like, you know what, it's a job, and it's paying my bills. And that's what I met a lot of people there that actually do background and audition, and some that actually book co-star roles, like one-line roles or like guest stars, and then they occasionally do background, because it's not a consistent thing. Like, booking one speaking role does not mean that you're like, oh, you made it.
Yeah.
And that's when I was younger, I used to think like, dude, this guy's on TV, this guy like made it. Like, it's not like that. Mm-hmm. It's not. It's a hustle. Like, once your name is out there, most likely you're gonna make some good money for some time. But until then, if you book one role, you get that paycheck, and then who knows when the next one's coming.
Yeah.
So background is more consistent, and yeah, you learn a lot from it. Would
you say it's humbled you a little bit?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because I go in there now and I'm just like, I see it as a job, and you got to do what you got to do, basically.
Yeah. I kind of think of it like, in a sense, like PA work in a sense. Mm-hmm. Like PA work, like not a lot of people want to do PA work. They want to be the director. They want to be the cinematographer. They want to be the head honchos. Mm-hmm. But honestly, I think everyone should learn how to put the work in, and I even think it's okay to backpedal. Like, I know a lot of people, like, maybe you don't even like to backpedal, but realizing that backpedaling can sometimes give you a broader view of your initial mission.
Yeah. No, it definitely did.
Okay.
I agree with you, because when I went back, I learned, I didn't know. See, when I first did it in 2013, I paid attention more of like the production side, like how they're setting up the cameras, how the lighting's coming in. This time I went in there, and it was the first time I saw like stand-ins. Have you ever heard of a stand-in?
Yeah, like for the actors, right? So like they replace them while they go do something. Or...
So while they set up the lighting, they have another actor.
Kind of like what we were doing here. We were setting up the camera. Or just sit here while hold the white balance card.
Yeah. So someone sits there, and they like run the line sometimes, or they run like the blocking for the actor, and then the actor comes in and he just does his thing. But that's one of the things that I learned. I did a couple stand-in jobs.
Nice. For Ryan Gosling?
Nah, not for Ryan Gosling.
I always crack that joke on you. You're like the Hispanic Ryan Gosling.
Well, thank you.
But let's hope that you'll be a little bit more bigger than him one day. That's a hard one.
Hopefully.
That's a hard one.
That'd be nice.
He is the first man. I'm just kidding. That was a dumb joke, but continue.
Maybe some people will laugh.
Hopefully. And then when they see your face and they look up who you are, they'll be like, oh shit, that is the Hispanic Ryan Gosling.
No, but yeah, so I did a couple of stand-in jobs. I forgot who I stood. I stood in a lot for people on How to Get Away with Murder.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I have yet to see that show, but I've heard of it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I stood in, I learned some stuff. I was actually nervous.
I bet.
It or not. Like, I thought, like, before I started doing background, I thought, fuck yeah, I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to go in there and do some TV show roles, some co-stars, like, speak and, like... Dude, as soon as they put that camera on me with, like, actual, like, on an actual set, I got nervous. And I wasn't even, like, the main guy. Like, I was just, like, the guy standing in. I got a little bit nervous the first time. And I cracked a little bit.
Of course, we all.
And then I went back in it.
There you go.
And I corrected it. And then I was good. But just like the first time,
you had to break the ice.
I did.
And I'm sure you did fine.
No, yeah, I did fine. It was just like, it's usually the first time I do something, because it's big stuff.
Yeah.
First time I do it, I get a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
Then after that, I see how it went down, and then I just see it for what it is.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, what style of like acting is like comfortable for you?
Drama. Yeah, I like drama. I just have that face where I just like, I just want to be serious.
Okay, so it's the Gosling effect.
It's the Gosling
effect. What acting style are you looking forward to maybe experimenting, or like you want to like give it a shot that you haven't?
Comedy.
All right.
For some reason, like I mean, I consider myself pretty funny.
Okay.
In some way, like, but when you're acting and you actually have to like be funny, then I actually question whether I'm funny or not.
Yeah.
Whether I'm funny or just a dick that just says
okay,
funny shit.
Right.
You know, like,
there it is.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm a little self-conscious about doing comedy because I don't really know.
Like the backgrounds of it all.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll get like a role once in a while maybe, and you'll probably like experiment with it.
Yeah, or maybe I should just produce some and just start experimenting with it more.
Yeah.
I did a couple in acting classes and they were cool, but I just never get into it because I'm always in my head.
Okay.
But I think little by little, it's just about practice basically.
Yeah. I feel like the kind of acting that I would be pretty good at is more of like the conversational like stuff.
Like The Best Friend?
Like what?
Like The Best Friend? The guy...
Like how would you explain that, Best Friend?
Like the I don't know, like the best friend, the guy that just like you go to talk to type of thing?
Maybe. Not like that.
Advice?
Not like that, but like to get into like acting, like I feel like I would have to improvise. Like I would do good at improvising. Not like set script where like I have to act this way.
Oh, okay.
Like throw me in there and I will act a certain way, whether like you want me to be sad or you want me to like act like a professor just giving like a lecture or anything like that kind of stuff. Like
it's easier.
Yeah,
it's easier if you're able to be natural. That's how I booked my first commercial.
Oh, okay.
There was no script. It was just like you go in there and you improvise.
What'd you do?
I improvised the fuck out of it. I can't speak about it because...
technical terms.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, very cool.
I might have lied about some stuff.
Hey, you never know. Sometimes you just
gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta risk it for the biscuit.
Hey.
Like we said earlier, or like I said earlier, Hollywood is a hustle.
It is, yeah. My agent told me, hey, go in there and get that job. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go in there and get that job. And that was the only job I got.
And there it is. You said you were gonna talk about like your other business. Did you want to?
Oh yeah, so my other business. So I have a website my parents, they own cell phone stores in LA.
Mm-hmm.
So they've had them for like 15 years, since like 2007 or a little bit before that. So I grew up fixing phones. Like I grew up in the cell phone business. I think when cell phones were first starting, that's when my dad got into it. And I was always like very interested in like
hands-on with the stuff, you know?
Yeah, like all the like hardware stuff or like software stuff. I was always into computers.
Mm-hmm.
So when it had to like do with something like adding wallpapers to like the Nextel phones, I don't know if you remember those.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
ringtones. I used to do all that stuff.
The chirp and all that.
Yeah. So I used to do all that stuff, and it taught me a lot of stuff that I currently use in production now.
Yeah.
Like editing video, like image sizes.
Mm-hmm.
I learned how I still use it, you know?
Yeah.
Editing sounds, like ringtones and stuff, I still use that now for sound.
Now that I think about it, like we grew up in like the perfect like era that we're like moving from like CD players and MP3s to like kind of like that. Because we were both born in like the 90s, right? 93, 92?
Yeah, I'm 91.
91, so around that area, yeah.
Yeah.
So like it's crazy that I think we're grateful for like the technology that came with our time.
Yeah.
But I'm also happy that we're not like a little bit younger to the point where like we're so addicted to the technology.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's like timetables. Like there's kids nowadays that they're just glued to their phone.
Oh yeah.
But for me, like I get tired of that shit. Like I need to like put it away for a bit.
Right.
You know?
I do too, dude.
Yeah.
When we were in like high school, I used to love being on the phone.
Yeah.
Like, you know, talking to chicks on the phone. And
Oh, well,
stuff.
that's different too. Like having like actual conversations
Yeah.
with girls, like that doesn't happen anymore.
It doesn't.
And I hate that shit.
Yeah. Dude, I hate it too because I used to love it, but I don't think I like it anymore either though.
What do you
Like,
mean?
I don't think I could be on the phone anymore.
I wish I could.
I wish I could too, but I don't think I could do it anymore.
I'm tired of texting girls. Like
Texting sucks.
I hate messaging. You know what texting's for? Texting is for, hey, how do I get to your house? Here's the address. Thank you. That is all it's for. Not, hey, what you doing, girl?
What's
that's
up?
nice. What's up? Like, I hate texting. Like, I'd rather be FaceTiming or on the phone call with you. And if we can't be talking, then you should be doing what you want to do, and I should be doing what I want to do.
Yeah, I think FaceTiming is weird though.
You do?
I still can't get into FaceTiming.
No?
No.
Why?
I don't know. It's just like putting with the phone and my face looks all weird, and then I'm looking at them and it's like nobody really looks at the other person.
You're right. It's more of just like a phone call type of thing.
Yeah.
I guess the last time I FaceTimed someone, and it's been a while, but I remember it's just like we were just on audio anyways.
Yeah.
Usually if you're out of the house and there's no Wi-Fi, you just do FaceTime audio or something
Yeah.
like that.
One of my buddies calls me all the time on FaceTime video.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, why the hell do you FaceTime video?
It's the wrong button.
But it's cool.
It's ridiculous.
But
Pressing the wrong button. Actually, someone butt dialed me a little while ago before when we were setting up the show and all that.
did you pick up?
No, I didn't pick it up. And I already knew it was a butt dial, and you just see the text message. Sorry, I called you by accident. It's all good. I figured. I was like, I'm setting up anyways. But good Lord, can you believe that we don't even talk on the phone anymore?
We don't.
That's actually like one issue that I've had with like social media and like community. I posed this not too long ago, but I have to say that, and this is why I also love my medium. Did I just say medium of podcasting? because it's the conversations that I enjoy.
Yeah.
I can't have a conversation with someone over email. I can't have a conversation over text messages. I love this interaction that we're starting to fade away from.
Yeah.
I feel like regular dialogue is dying, and I'm sad. I'm sad that it's happening. And I feel like maybe podcasting is a good way for me to like still have that. Even like acting, I can see people like running into that. Like they're interacting.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I used to suck at like conversations. Like suck until I started acting, and I had to be forced to like converse. Like in the beginning, my acting wasn't as good because I kind of sucked at that. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't good at connecting with people.
Yeah.
Because I would just listen and just like doze off and just like, the fuck did you say? But I had to. I like if you want to act, you got to listen. That's that's like part of being a good actor. You're a good listener.
Yeah.
And started learning how to listen to people. I'm a better listener now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It pays off to be a good listener. And honestly, that's all people want.
Yeah.
Is to be listened to.
Yeah.
And sometimes people don't get it. Sometimes people do.
So, yeah.
I feel like the people that don't are just like tap, 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 tap it away.
At their phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they're not like with a human being, they're with technology.
Yeah.
That's usually the case.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess we could start wrapping it up. The last things that we'll come down to is what word...
What's up? You don't want to finish the rest of my business, my other business?
Oh, were you going to go more into depth of like...
Yeah, so I was going to...
Actually, your business, actually, I love how that's actually one thing that's been keeping us connected for the length that we've been connected for. Like, you helped me out and a couple of my friends, with phone repairs.
Yeah.
So you're actually the guy that I go to for phone repairs.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that because, it's still money coming in too. So you're keeping me in business.
And you come in clutch with just, I think I brought like 3 people or 2 people to you.
At least. Now, I want to say like more than 3.
Really?
Yeah. At least 3 for sure.
And that, like you say, it's kind of like, you see that business has kind of been dying down a little bit.
Cell phone repair, yes, because the screens are like the phones are getting more advanced, so they're not accepting aftermarket screens as much.
And it's what it is it's Apple. It's like, hey, like there's some people like we're not getting enough sales on these screen repairs.
Yeah, no,
because we charge up the ass.
They charge fucking hundreds of dollars.
Yeah,
for shit that I
that's
charge
their
less
fault. Do you see what Apple is doing? Like they're just amping up all the price. Like no one's gonna buy this stuff after a while.
Well, I mean, they gotta pay so much in like the place that they're leasing.
Yeah, you're right.
All their workers.
I always forget about like the
they have to
details and stuff like that.
They have to inflate their prices.
Yeah,
that's to me. Like I'm not paying anyone shit, so I can keep it as low as I want.
Yeah,
or as high as I want.
Exactly. But the business.
Yeah. So my website. So I started a website back in either 2015 or 2016. 2016, January. I was talking to my sister's husband, and he just pushed me to do it. Pushed me to start this website. It was going to be for unlocking cell phones. So, like, if you have AT&T and you want to go to T-Mobile or a different carrier, you go to my website, you buy the unlock, and then phone gets unlocked. Like, you pay for the unlock. Mm-hmm. And I started it, and little by little, I started getting more traffic. I think the first year, I got like 1,400 people the first year on there, which kind of sucks. That's terrible.
It's you've had better.
Oh yeah, dude.
Okay.
So that was the first year. And then this thing with Google came out where if you reset your phone, like there's a thing called the hard reset.
Yeah.
When you press the buttons and it resets the phone when you forgot your passcode. So it deletes everything. But it locks it up to the Google account that's linked to that phone.
Originally.
Kind of like if you have an iPhone and you reset the phone, it locks it to your iCloud account.
The turn off, the iCloud, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's like the equivalent of the Google lock.
Google.
And that's what I unlock. So I started making these videos on how to unlock that. And I put the applications on my website for downloads. So these YouTube videos, I was just making them. I didn't really know it was going to go anywhere. And yeah, little did I know, it just started picking up. I started getting a lot of views, and people started making videos all over the world for unlocking Google phones and sending them. Look, so they were making their own videos. Like I say, you're making a video,
and they would put it on YouTube.
They're putting it on YouTube, and they're sending their viewers to my website to download the apps.
Oh,
because I'm hosting the apps,
and more people would come in.
More people are coming to my website. And this would happens a lot.
More ad revenue. So I started getting I think the next year after 2017, I got over 2 million people on my website. So I went from a little over 1,000 people to over 2 million people on my website. That's crazy.
Yeah. And that was I think 200 to 350,000 a month people.
Dang.
Yeah. So 10,000 to 11,000 a day.
Oh my gosh.
It got nuts, dude. So I was like, all right, so how do I do something with this? Like what do I do? Because I know you can monetize it. I didn't know at the time. I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Started looking into it. Google AdSense. So I started putting the ads. That's the thing, that you place the ads on your website.
People can click through.
People click them, you get paid. If people see them, you get paid.
Yeah.
So 10,000 people coming in, accidentally clicking these ads. I strategically placed them to like where they would see them, and I started linking them to like let's say, so I had the downloads on one page, right? And they would just download them from there. When I did the whole like ad thing, I was like, fuck this. Like, now they're going to have to click it, and it's going to take them to a different page where they could download that app and then go back and then go through all those ads, like, and then go to the next one.
Smart.
That way I could get more revenue.
Yeah.
So it hyped them. Like, it just shot my revenue up.
That's
and I'm
crazy.
like, dude, like, it came to a point where I wasn't doing anything for work.
Oh my
like,
gosh.
for a couple months, I wasn't doing anything. I was just like, holy shit. Like, I would just wake up.
Sit in front of a computer.
Yeah. And I'm like, I would just wake up and look at my phone, and I'm like, all right, I made that much money today. Like,
holy crap.
And it went on for months. And I think it was like July or May of 2018. So it went on for like, I want to say like a year. And then July came, and I was talking to my buddy. We were like hanging out. I'm like, dude, this shit is nuts. Like, I don't know how it's gonna, like, I don't see how it could ever end.
Yeah.
Later on that night, I'm looking at my on my balance, and I'm like, the fuck, there's like question marks.
Question marks?
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I think my service is like gone. Like, I thought it was my service on my phone. We get to his house, and then I connect to the Wi-Fi. Still wasn't showing up, so I go on his laptop and I check it out, and it said that my account had been disabled.
Ooh.
I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
Wait, so all the money that was there?
Yeah, so it got disabled halfway through the month. So sometime around like May, like 15ish, 13ish. So all the revenue that I had half that month, lost.
And could you have taken it out before?
No, because after the 30 days, so it's the whole month, then they pay you like 15 days later. So they send out the payment after they verify that everything's good.
And they just nipped it in the butt.
Yeah, so they basically took my revenue for that whole month, and I never got that account back.
Good Lord.
Yeah, so I was like devastated.
That sounds like my situation, but yours is way worse because you had more money on the line.
Oh, dude, it was bad.
I had the Amazon affiliate when I was first starting off the podcast, not realizing that I need more ears before I can start doing that.
Yeah.
And like I had a few people click through, like buddies, like a few people like clicking through just to buy whatever they needed on Amazon. Made like $5 off of it, and then they shut it down because it just wasn't bringing in enough.
Yeah.
That's what they want. They want a lot of
revenue,
clicks.
Yeah.
So
For me, it was the opposite. It's like they don't want people clicking this because it was people from like India, people from Africa, literally people all over the world.
well,
like
maybe even people with like hidden like IP server IPs and stuff
that too.
like that. Yeah.
But the main thing is, it's people that like, let's say you have your phone.
Yeah.
And you're trying to unlock your phone. You're going on my website for a purpose. The purpose is not to look at the ads, to buy anything. The purpose is to go on there and download these apps to unlock that phone. So if you accidentally click these ads and you don't buy anything, no one was buying anything.
Yeah.
And they could see where, like, when you click on this ad, they could see where it came from.
Yeah,
It came from my website. So my website was sending in traffic that never bought anything.
Got it.
But
with those advertisements, most of the people just see them. Like they're not. Why are you gonna expect people to buy?
But when it's like 2 million people,
you have to have at least a little bit of people buying.
At least something, yeah. So they flagged my account for invalid traffic, is what they called it. But they never really explained it, and I tried to appeal it the same day, nothing. And then a couple months later, I tried to appeal it, nothing. So that's how I started. That's how I went back into background.
Okay.
Because I'm like, all right, well, I made some money. My savings looks pretty good. Let's use some of that money, join SAG, and try to pay some bills with that money.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And
now you're back at background.
Back at background. I actually like it. I like it. Like I get fed. I get freedom. Like, like if I say I'm gonna work tomorrow, I work tomorrow, and if I'm booked for 3 days, I'm booked for 3 days. If I don't want to work next week, I don't work next week. You know, it's not like someone's forcing me to work.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like on my schedule still, and that's what I've always like pushed for. It's always been like freedom. I don't want to be tied down to anything. I don't want to be tied down to a cell phone store. I don't want to chase money, basically. Like, if I wanted to do that, I would have my own store. I would be selling stuff. I'm a good businessman, so. But that's not my purpose. Like, I want to make money my way. And I'm not saying like, oh, I'm not chasing money. No, I'm chasing money my way.
Yeah.
Like, it has to come like from what I want to do. If not, then there's no point of it. I want to be happy doing what I want.
Exactly. No strings attached.
No.
Yeah. I feel like it's tough. It's tough, especially for like young entrepreneurs who want to, you know, do it very independently. Yeah. But it's possible. Yeah. So I feel like you can get there. I feel like, I mean, so far as long as I've known you, you've been like really great as an independent person. That, like, from my perspective. Yeah. So I feel I have confidence that you're gonna get.
Thank you.
Where you want to get.
Yeah. This year, actually, last year, I moved out of my parents' house and I got my own apartment by myself. This right here.
Yeah, this beautiful place.
Thank you.
Hooked it up so we can, you know, record this.
Yeah.
And you're probably gonna leave this place soon too.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Next month, my lease signs next month.
There you go.
So it was fun. It was cool. I learned a lot being alone. Like, surprisingly, you actually learn a lot.
Oh, of course.
You learn so much. Like, you learn to be with yourself, as weird as that sounds, but you learn to like accept yourself and like to hang out. A lot of people can't be by themselves, and I don't understand why. Yeah. Like, you're literally like, you're with you all the time. Like, learn to love yourself, learn to be at.
But you are all you have. That's another important thing. You are all you have. You may come from your mother and you may have your parents. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you are all you have. And people like I tell people, like, I go to the movies all the time by myself. I go to a lot of places by myself. I go to the restaurants and sit there by myself with podcasts. People
think it's weird.
People think it's weird.
I don't understand why. Like, I think it's weird that you can't go by yourself.
Yeah, that's like, why do you have to have someone there? Yeah. I get it. You want company. I get it. You want to have fun. I get it. You want to live life with all the people that you love. But at the end of the day, I think it's important, and I'm glad you brought it up, that it's important to be happy with yourself before you can be happy with anybody else. Like, a lot of people think, like, they come to me like, Nate, like, you don't go out a lot, you're very introverted. I'm like, it's not a bad thing. Mm-hmm. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I go out most of the time, I talk to people, but it's, honestly, I get really tired of like I said, dialogue is dying in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Like, conversation is dying in my opinion. So if I don't feel like I'm gonna get like a valuable like conversation out of someone, if you're just gonna be on your phone and we're out and at dinner or like a restaurant and you're just gonna be on your phone the whole time, like that time, like, that's the reason why I like to be by myself. You know, if you're not gonna spend quality time, don't spend time at all. I can spend quality time with myself. Yeah. I know how to be happy with myself, you know? Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, I think the people that know how to be happy with themselves and be content with just being solo, I think they'll be okay, you know? Yeah. Especially like if you're stranded on an island like Tom Hanks.
Dude, you know what's funny? I'm used to doing everything alone. But I was at my cousin's house. She actually lives down the street. Mm-hmm. And we were talking, and she was telling me that her boyfriend went on a trip by himself. And I was like, that's kind of weird. And then I think about it, and I'm like, because she was like, why is that weird? Like, you're used to doing everything by yourself. Like, it's the same thing. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, fuck, she's right. Like, it's literally the same thing. Yeah. Like, you just go out there and you're just enjoying stuff. You're just seeing stuff. You're just taking it all in.
You're able to take it all in way much better solo than with someone else. And don't get me wrong, you may be able to take in or get a certain experience with someone else, but that's just for you to figure out. You know, it's best to just go try both. You know. Yeah. But I shun the people that say, oh, you're a weirdo for being by yourself. Well, you're a weirdo for being constantly with people and not knowing how to be content with yourself.
Yeah, for being so needy.
Yeah, exactly.
Needy fucks.
Too much. Yeah, you just can't have someone with you all the time. Don't be so needy. Yeah. Yeah. I get it. That's good that you brought that up, because that's actually like one thing that I've been kind of like talking to people about, And this is the perfect place for you to
people need to be like, just do something, like, do something by yourself. Like, I don't know.
It. Well,
you do it.
It's kind of like, and I'm still trying to be a more conscious person. I'm not like there yet. I don't think I'm there yet. Sometimes I still get stuck in my head. But I think if you manage to learn how to be by yourself and just be comfortable, like without anybody there, that's when you'll eventually be able to, you know, get a little bit better of a grasp on your like conscious and being communicating with yourself.
Yeah, and it frees you, dude. Like, it lets you think clearly.
Yeah, and that must help out with acting too.
It does.
Yeah,
it does. It definitely, like, it grounded me.
Yeah,
like, it made me like more secure. Like, when I go into, like, I don't know, just like anything.
Yeah,
really, like, I know who I am.
Premeditate before.
Yeah,
and that's something I'm gonna start doing too soon.
Meditating.
I
have to do that, but I just.
I'm reading a book right now. I want to read this book first because there's some missing gaps in my brain, I guess, right now that I'm trying to fill. Mm-hmm. And the lady that I produced the podcast and the audiobook for, she's the one that bought me this one, and it's called The Mask of Masculinity. Mm-hmm. And so far, like, and this is like popular guy. I forget the name of the guy, and I guess I should have known it like right off the back, but it's got some pretty good details in there that I'm starting to like. All right, cool. It's a little bit making yourself more comfortable around people and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to getting a lot from that. So good stuff.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, leaving it off on a good note where, like, the listeners and the viewers now, you know, we got recording here. What advice would you give to young actors who are aspiring to, you know, maybe even go into SAG or just pursue background work or even trying to, like, aim for like a starting like a role, a main role?
Mm-hmm. I think the main thing is know that it's hard, but it's definitely possible if you put in the work. You know, it took me, I want to say, like 3 years to book my first speaking role, my first commercial. And in 3 years, you know, like, some people would quit like the first month.
Yeah.
It takes time. Like, be patient, be a hustler, keep pushing forward, keep figuring out ways to, like, grow as a person and grow your career. Like, you'll keep learning. It's like when you start driving. I don't know if you remember when you first started driving and you fucking sucked.
Yeah.
And you were, like, going off into, like, the side and almost hitting the curb. Like, it's the same shit.
Yeah.
Eventually, you learn how to drive the car right, and you know where you're going, and you just keep following the path, and along the way, you're going to fall. Get back up and just keep going.
Hell yeah.
That's basically it.
That's it, just
like,
to stick to the roots of it.
Yeah, believe in yourself. Your family might not believe in you, your friends might not. The only thing that matters is that you believe in yourself, and the other people are persuaded easily. Once you do one thing,
they'll see it. Yeah, like, all right, well, shit, this guy put his money where his mouth was, and he actually produced.
Yeah, convincing the other people is the easiest part. Convincing yourself, that's the part you gotta, like, really do. Like, it's not fooling others and saying, like, yeah, I believe in myself. No, it's like saying, hey, yeah, I believe in myself, and I'm gonna keep doing this shit even if you don't believe in me. I'm gonna keep going, and I don't know when I'm gonna get there, but I'm gonna get to where I wanted to go because that's what I want to do.
Hell yeah.
And fuck you if you don't believe in me. I'm gonna do it, and once you see it, you're gonna believe it too.
Heck yeah.
And it's happened.
You couldn't have said that
happened.
any better, dude.
So I remember when people first saw me on my first commercial, like, speaking role. It was.
What did they say? What were the comments that you got?
I had people come to my parents' store. My parents' store is, like, mainly Hispanic,
and they know you. Like, they knew you. Like, I saw your son.
Yeah, well, they've seen me since I was, like, 12 years old. Yeah. So they would see me. Like, some of them would pass by and they would, like, look at me. They were, like, too afraid to, like, talk to me. And then some of them would come by and, like, hey, I saw you in that commercial, and, like, come shake my hand and stuff. And it was nice, dude. Like, at first I was kind of, like, shy, and then after it was pretty, like, nice, like, being recognized by people and family members, like, congratulating me, like, being all excited. Like, that feels really nice.
Yeah.
Like, having your work noticed.
Oh, of course.
Even if it's nothing big, even if it's something small, but, like, having it recognized, because acting is there's a lot that we put into it.
Of course.
So it's a nice thing.
Especially like method actors too. They put
a lot.
Everything into
those
it.
fuckers are crazy.
Yeah. Like did you recently watch that Jim Carrey documentary?
No.
He starts like talking at the end like very like deep and stuff like that, and it was this role that he played I think it was like Man on the Moon or something like that. Charlie Kaufman. I hope I'm getting that right, but he played the role where he when he was like dying in the movie and he had like cancer, like he literally came like in the van and the truck, like, and then in the wheelchair, he was like acting like all like through the whole thing. The camera's not even on him, like background cameras are on him, but he's like playing up to like actual action, like he's acting the whole way there, dude. And he got people emotional just from like that. So I appreciate when actors, they put their heart into a character, where they submerge themselves so deep into a character where you actually believe they are that person.
And it's really hard to do. Yeah, like props to them. Yeah, props. It's hard.
Definitely.
I want to get to that level too.
You will.
Not like method where I'm like,
you never know. You may get that role.
Killing people to like know how killing feels. And,
oh yeah, not that.
Not that crazy.
not that crazy. No Nightcrawler. No Nightcrawler. No Jake Gyllenhaal. All right, no Jake Gyllenhaal. You're Ryan Gosling, the Hispanic Ryan Gosling. Well, geez, dude, I appreciate you coming on the show. Yeah. I remember when I stopped by that last time, I was like, dude, I gotta get you on the show. I got to get you on. And you're the first episode of Conversations with the World of the year. And I felt like this was a really great conversation. You've said stuff that clicked in my brain that I'm like I'm appreciative that you said it, Yeah. And I'm going to take that with me. And I hope the listeners take whatever they can get from this conversation. Almost all of it is pretty valuable because you're speaking the truth here. So I appreciate you coming on the show. Yeah. I'll leave you with this quote that I leave everybody before I close out the show. May you starve the ego and feed the soul always. All right, Luis?
Will do. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Cool.